Hi there Libra, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your January 2026 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Libra air signs where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. What I find though is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Libra signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoyed this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Libra, let's jump in. I always like to just tune into the energies first, Libra, before I start pulling cards. I do see a great month ahead for you and a lot of, new opportunities, new connections coming in and things like that. But I feel like it's going to involve a little bit more of choosing yourself and doing what your heart really wants, because I'm seeing a lot of energies around, showing up for others, always being there for others, keeping everybody happy, a lot of energy going out, but sometimes at the cost of perhaps your own happiness. And I definitely feel this month is going to be all about you following your heart and doing what makes you happy. So with your overall energies, we have the Seven of Swords. Sometimes that's a card of trust, when there is a lack of trust and need to trust or trust issues of some kind. Sometimes it can represent deception, things being hidden. It's also a card of strategy and, how you navigate the territory. What lies in your recent past, the Queen of Cups, your current energies, the Ace of Wands, your feelings towards your situation, the Three of Swords. I was already beginning to feel, that this may be a person that you're dealing with right now. And you may be in, some kind of separation right now with that Three of Swords, because I do feel distance and a heartbreak around, something not really working out. Let me just look at the challenge, because there's something about that Queen of Cups. So in the challenge is the High Priestess. Listening to your intuition, tapping into your intuition, your sense of knowing. Because the High Priestess is very much this energy of, she who knows. The hidden influence is the Five of Pentacles, instability, loss, having to leave something behind, or feeling on the outside, or feeling shut out. Because this is the thing, this is the energy that I'm picking up from this Queen of Cups here. It's, if you look at the figure on the card, there is a lid on the cup that she's holding, and there's all that love to give. There's all that potential in there, but there is a lid on the cup. And I just keep feeling the energy of somebody being quite held back. And I do feel like this is someone that, you know, there is that attraction between you. The Ace of Wands is fire energy, it's passion. And, you know, this can be male or female. But for some reason, I just keep picking up this guarded energy from this card. You know, the tarot cards, they can have upright meanings, reversed meanings. They can have a lot of different meanings. And, you know, the Queen of Cups is all about emotion and looking after your emotional needs. That emotional wisdom and balance. But sometimes it can also represent someone who is struggling to open up. So I feel like this is actually meaning all of those things in many ways. So for you here, Libra, it is about looking after your needs and what you deserve, because you do deserve to be emotionally supported. And for the person that you're dealing with, I feel like this is someone that's struggling to do that for you. So I actually kind of get two meanings off that card. And with the Seven of Swords there as your overall energies, I do feel like there are trust issues. And I do get the sense of you might be dealing with someone who maybe isn't completely honest. You may not be quite on the same page. The invitation is there, of course. But I feel like this is still someone who is maybe trying to hold on to, you know, certain type of lifestyle, and they might be, you know, kind of keeping things hidden. This is all about somebody kind of, you know, sneaking around in the dark, hiding things, dishonesty, deception. And I do get the sense this may be someone that you have felt that you have had to move on from. Because I do feel that you are at some kind of, you know, fresh start. And it may be that this is something that's recently come to a close. You may still be involved with this person. You may still be processing, you know, some of these emotions. This often represents, you know, difficult emotions, pain, sadness, loss. It can indicate a separation or a period of separation. And I do feel like this is someone that, you know, you still feel that attraction to here with the Ace of Wands. But for some reason, you know, something's missing here. And there is this need to kind of let that go and move on. But it feels like it's tough, you know, it's that sense of feeling like you have to move on. The advice from the universe is the Six of Swords, which is a card of transition. And it's all about moving away from a difficult or challenging time, which is what I feel that Seven of Swords represents. Moving away, you know, from those choppy waters, those challenging times, to a place of healing, to something, you know, that is more emotionally fulfilling for you. And it feels like you're in that transition right now. So there's still perhaps a little bit of processing from the past, but this invitation to really embrace this transition here with the Six of Swords. You know, this is an energy which is all about learning from the past and taking the wisdom with you moving forwards. That is actually what the swords in the boat represent here. They actually represent the wisdom that you take with you moving forwards, moving forwards to something better for yourself. Because, you know, with the Five of Pentacles here, this is about moving forward through the energy of knowing your worth and your value. That's the invitation of this card. You know, because it often represents, you know, loss very much sometimes on a physical level, you know, in the career or home, you know, areas of life. And the invitation, of course, is to move through that energy of lack by moving more into your self-worth and your value. Because I do feel an energy of settling for less here. Now, for some of you, this could relate to the career aspect of your life. You know, it may be a job or a project that, you know, you have felt very passionately about, but what you're putting in is not, you know, giving you back, you know, what you really want from that. You know, there isn't that emotional fulfillment. And it may be something that you feel you've had to move on from. And it may be something that involves, you know, some kind of deception or betrayal. Because I feel, when I feel into, you know, these energies that I'm picking up on here, that there's something more for you. There's someone more for you, someone better. And I just feel like this, you know, huge invitation from the universe to, as much as you can, let go of what's done here. Let go of what feels unhealthy, what no longer serves you. Let go of anything that you feel you are settling for less with. And embrace this transition, even if you don't yet know what the destination is, because I see a lot of really exciting things coming in for you. I see new love, I see new connections, new opportunities. I see you moving forwards, you know, really shining your light and really living life, because I feel like whatever this is in your past here, whether it's a person or a job or it's a, you know, another connection, I feel like this is something that you really lost yourself in, and there was that passion. And it was something I feel that you really put your heart into. And sometimes those are the most difficult things to get ourselves out of, because we've invested so much, right? And then it's hard sometimes to let that go. But the invitation here is to do exactly that. In your outcome, the Page of Wands, a new beginning, and being open to a new beginning, and being open to, I feel, following your heart on this one, following that creative energy. This is all about, you know, enthusiasm, passion, and following that creative flow moving forwards, and really just trusting that that will guide you, you know, towards, you know, what you really want. And it really is about, you know, just staying open to that. Even if you don't, like I said before, you don't know what the destination is just yet. I feel this is about enjoying that journey, enjoying this process of, you know, self-discovery and coming back to yourself again, you know, regaining your power and really embracing, you know, whatever fresh start this is for you. So I'm going to leave that there, Libra. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.